Okay, they come in Charizard, actually. What do they have in the back? Trevenant? Trevenant's actually a strong possibility. Ha! I don't know if it's going to one-shot me or not. I do not know the counts on this, and I also don't know this matchup at all. Holy crap. Please live a Brave Bird. No, I don't. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. We are in a couple weeks of Great League in a row, and this is a team I decided to run shortly after hitting Legend, and I went on a huge tear with it. In this video, you're going to see the first, I think, 3 or 4 sets of me using this team, but I continued using that team, and I hit number 22 on the global leaderboard, getting my highest elo of the season so far, and it's been something that I've been playing consistently since. The team is Medicham, Toxapex, and Bastiodon. A lot of people joke that having both Toxapex and Bastiodon on the same team could be interesting because they're super tanky and kind of similar in terms of how they play. However, I always thought that it would be a bad pairing because you can't really get shield advantage on the safe swap, regardless of which one you're swapping there. But the team actually worked surprisingly really well. And again, you're really relying a lot on the bulk. And you're going to see how I'm playing out the first time ever playing this team. And of course, it only gets better from there. Before we get into the battles, a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups, or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. Getting into this first battle here, we have a Alolan Ninetales, Shadow Alolan Ninetales. Is it Powder Snow? It is going to be Powder Snow. So my thought here is maybe I'm going to try to catch a Dazzling Gleam, and hopefully we did. Either way, we caught some move, and all the moves are resisted. We do catch a hard-hitting Dazzling Gleam. And of course, here's where you see how you can't really get shield advantage against a lot of these counter swaps. Any of the ground types, any of really the ghost types, you can't really get shields. My opponent does go straight for that Earthquake, and it's not enough to take me out all the way. But I'm going to throw the Ice Punch right away because I know they don't have a Hydro Cannon ready, and I don't really want to lose CMP. We do force a shield from my opponent, so this is not too bad because I know their Alolan Ninetales is mostly out of energy at this point. I'm going to shield the first one, let the second one go. I don't want to go completely down shield. It's not the best situation for me, but let's see what they come in with here. And they're going to come in Alolan Ninetales. Psychic should be close enough to take it out. And they just let it go, and then now they have the Trevenant here. This is going to be an interesting matchup. The one shields is really dependent on if they land a bait or not, and they do land a bait, which is not great. Actually, I think I do win the one shields. Well, let's see how it goes. But again, this is my first ever battle with the team, so I wasn't really sure how to play it out. But as you can see, throughout these battles, you see that I get a little better over time, hopefully. All right, C-Bomb, unfortunately not enough to KO, and we do get the Flamethrower off, which is huge. Yeah, so that first catch obviously helped quite a bit. We're going to game number 2 here. Again, a lot of bad leads here, but it's not too bad. I'm going to try to catch potentially a Play Rough here, and we go for another catch. These are just back-to-back games, like I said, and definitely feeling pretty good about this. As you can see in the timestamp, too, it was almost 5 a.m. This was back when I was in London for the Europe International Championships. Oh, what's up, girl? You know, this is not too bad because my Medicham has a little bit more play into Azumarill than it does Sableye. So taking out the Sableye is potentially going to be really solid. I'm going to just choose to let this go at this point. I have a lot of energy here. Unfortunately, they still had a move ready, so I have to shield a Play Rough here. I'm going to start chipping down this Azumarill, though. Most are not running Hydro Pump, so I should be okay, but we haven't seen the second move yet. And again, I'm catching again, and we end up catching another Play Rough, which is kind of nice. Oh my goodness, girl. She doesn't like the catch for some reason. Oh. Alright, let's see if I could... Let's try the massage trick. Does it work? It worked last time, right, Chegs? Oh, she's not into it. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh, it does have Hydro Pump. A little unfortunate. Alright. See if this calms it down a little bit. And it is going to be a Shadow Cantle Ninetales. Sorry, I missed most of that Azumarill Bastiodon matchup. This girl's complaining a lot about not much. But yeah, it is not going to be great against the Medicham, and we are able to finish it off. So far, 2-0. So pretty good with the team. As you can see, really bad leads. This is the first positive lead I've had. And here comes the Frost Ice. And this is going to be really nice for us because the Flamethrower is super threatening still to the Chesnaught. I had a feeling that there might be a Charizard on the back. I feel like this is a pretty popular line I've seen quite a bit of. But let's see if that's the case or not. Even Charizard, Toxapex is going to be pretty good into. We get a ton of farm here, which is nice. We have super effective flamethrowers, right? This is where this matchup is much better than, you know, standard like Medicham matchups. I do force the Chesnaught to throw. I'm trying to optimize that timing there, but forcing them to throw the energy is also pretty nice for me. It's actually a knockdown in the back, but with the shield advantage, I should be in a really good spot. Again, this Chesnaught really has nowhere to go either way. And then even Medicham has decent matchups into Noctowl, especially with the shield advantage. They do shield the first Sludge Wave, but again, there's really no point in me baiting there because I'm up shields. Again, no Sludge Wave off, I'm fine. Even if they somehow take me out here, it's not the end of the world, but I'm going to shield here. I mean, they could try to catch a Sludge Wave on the Chesnaught, but that's not really going to help their case too much. And yeah, we're just going to finish off with Medicham and then go straight for the Psychic to finish it off. Yeah, so obviously, when you have a great lead and great counter swap, this team is very, very strong. But the most important thing is how do you play out of bad matchups. And so here we go. Not the best matchup. We're going to swap straight away here. We really want to get the Bastion on here. I'm going to just tank the move. This makes me think that they don't have a strong Toxapex counter. But let's see how it goes. And then they keep staying in here. So this is going to be pretty good. We do get the Sludge Wave off. And then they come in as Sableye. Our timers are kind of misaligned at this point. And again, my matchup doesn't have a terrible matchup against Noctowl. And I'd rather have it face that than the Sableye. So yeah, we're going to just let this go, and then we still get the Brine off actually, which is pretty huge. Again, Toxapex also super bulky. Bulk on bulk really plays in pretty well. I don't really want to have to shield my Medicham. I'm going to just bring in the Bastion here, hoping that they have something kind of weak to Medicham in the back, or at least neutral. We're taking a lot of damage in the process, which is a little unfortunate. Ends up being a Trevenant, so not great. It's Noctowl double Ghost. So triple strong into this Medicham. Not a great spot to be in. This might be a C-Bomb, and I shield, and unfortunately it is C-Bomb. So that being the case, we're just going to shield again. I knew this was going to be a Shadow Ball. I need to do something about this Trevenant here, but unfortunately I think we're just going to get outpaced. Yeah, I don't know. Catching a Shadow Ball here is not really going to help my case that much either. I think the better play is to let the C-Bomb go. Surprisingly, I actually don't get completely knocked out with one Shadow Ball. But let the C-Bomb go. Try to finish off Medicham. I don't know. It's a little tricky. But yeah, Medicham unfortunately just had nowhere to go in that one. Probably could play it a little better there, though. All right, another Power Stone, Alolan Ninetales. So we try to go for a catch again. This time it does not quite work out. And they actually are counter swapping me with Shadow Swampert, which is similar to that first game, I think. So same exact team composition so far. But let's see what they have in the back here. I'm going to shield the potential Earthquake. Again, Shadow Swampert is not going to take the Poison Jabs as well, nor the Brines. So it kind of adds up, and they can't really, you know, they could try to bait with Hydro Cannons, but it's just not going to pay off too much here. So I'm going to force all the shields out here. And the reason being, my thought process here, let's see if we get a shield. Yeah, so my Medicham still has a lot of health here. I end up catching an Earthquake here. And then I throw, I guess we CMP. Yeah, we CMP'd there. And then here comes the Trevenant. So this is actually not too bad. So we definitely have some play here. Because Toxapex is very good into Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales has nowhere to go. And Shields down Trevenant is not going to be a great spot for them. So I'm going to just throw the Flamethrower. And even though it's caught here, all their energy's wasted. I still have the Toxapex. Oh my goodness. All right. Shags is out of here. Yeah, so they are going to take out my Bastion, unfortunately. But I still have the Toxapex. Can we get to the move? It looks like this might just be a C-Bomb. And it is. And we are able to finish off this first set 4-1. So pretty good here. And it was actually my Pikachu Libre sets, as like I said, was right after Hit Legend. I tanked quite a bit afterward because I was playing some Evolution Cup and it was not really helping me too much. But yeah, here we go. We have a Abomasnow lead, which is really good for me because all three of my Pokemon can beat it. And again, these are consecutive games, so you know, anything you see me picking up or misplace, you're seeing it happen. As part of the process. Nothing is cut out of this footage in terms of my battles here. Again, I'm in a pretty good spot here, so I don't really mind. I'm just going to you know, I could force him to double shield here, but yeah, again, we don't really need the alignment here. So I'm going to start countering down. They didn't swap out right away. It makes me think that they might be a little soft to Medicham. And yeah, as you expect, Shadow Cannon Ninetales, nowhere to go, unfortunately, for that team. Yeah, really tough team composition from my opponent there. All right, Shadow Dragonair. So this is going to be an interesting one. I think I'm going to throw a Ice Punch and maybe swap out. We technically could CMP there, but it looked like they held on. And then now they come in with a Spark Lantern. But the difference is they're actually behind on shields. So I might have a chance to flip this matchup. So that's what I'm going to start going for. I throw the Sludge Wave, and it is going to do a lot of damage. Do I want to double shield? Here's a real question, because this is obviously going to be a Thunderbolt, and I end up double shielding. All right, so we're going to throw a Brine here. Brine bait, but even if it doesn't get shielded, it takes him out. So all in all, pretty solid bait, I think. And then I go for the Sludge Wave. Unfortunately, they get to the Bison first. Maybe I should just throw in the Brine. Might be able to get a shield. Again, another Shadow Cannon Ninetales. It's really interesting that there's so many of them here. And we're just coming to my Medicham here. Force them to throw Overheat or just waste all their energy with Weather Balls. And they are throwing a bunch of Weather Balls here. But I don't think they have enough time to get to Overheat after this. Let's see. Nope. Yeah. And then, yeah, we're in a good spot. Facing my friend Pranav here. This is going to be interesting. So, Venusaur, not even Shadow Venusaur, so something you don't see super often. I was going for the catch here, expecting him to throw when I got to Psychic, which seems to be exactly what happened here. So, catching a Friend's Plant, it's still neutral though. Venusaur does have a lot of play into this entire team. It doesn't really heartbeat anything, but nothing really heartbeats it either. Throwing back-to-back Frenzies here is forcing my shield here, and then I am going to throw the Sludge Wave because I don't have time to throw two Brines either way. And then, yeah, still staying in here. So I am going to throw the Ice Punch. I know that he doesn't have another Frenzy yet. Let's it go. So my guess is he's probably pretty strong into this. And unfortunately, oh, he has double Ice in the back. So Bastion actually has a lot of play into this team. The real question is he going to go Earthquake or bait me here? Because that's going to be the real deciding factor. I decided to let it go, and unfortunately, it was Earthquake. Had I shield that, it would be probably game over. But I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I'm just going to save my shields for the Medicham. I chose not to shield there because I need a little bit more energy on my Medicham. I'm thinking, yeah, I could Psychic the Alolan Ninetales. But my mistake is that this is not a Shadow Alolan Ninetales. It is just the non-Shadow, which means that the counters plus a Psychic is just not enough damage, and now I'm forced to shield Weather Balls. Had I just shielded Earthquake, would have been a different story. But well played, especially given that he didn't really have any true Bastion counters on that team, so made it work. Alright, so we did take our first loss in this set, but overall the set's still going pretty well here, and we are going for this Magic Mirror. It looks like I win Charge from Priority, which is nice to know, and I land the Psychic, and we get Defense drop, so everything is going in my favor here. I'm going to shield because it seems like it's unlikely they're not going to throw a Psychic there, and this is a really good spot for me. Why? Because their Medicham is quite low already, so they can't even get too much value out of it if I start throwing a bunch of Flamethrowers at their Medicham. And I am going to be able to come out with at least one Flamethrower, maybe 1.5, depending on how much I can farm this down. And the main thing is they can't really flip this matchup with Lickitung. I don't need to spend any shields. And yeah, as you can see, maxed out energy, 100 energy here, which can be quite nice. I think I theoretically can only get one off. Oh no, I decided to swap over here. Okay, and they don't have a great check to Medicham, which is kind of interesting. I'm a little concerned I made the wrong play here, but let's see. And it's actually a Galarian Stunfisk, so they let it go. And so, yeah, that aggressive swap might have put me in a tough spot here, but I think we're in a good spot now. They don't know yet, right? But they don't know how strong... oh, they actually bait me with Rock Slide. Okay, that's pretty gutsy there, especially given I'm down a shield already. But it definitely pays off. And then now they are going for an Earthquake, I would assume. So it's going to be interesting. I have a lot of energy on my Bastion. So I'm going to start throwing it, and we force potentially 2 shields here. Let's see. Oh wait, no, they were out of shields. All right, nice. And we didn't even have to show a Toxapex for that game. Pretty wild, actually, all things considered. But okay, Swampert in the lead here. Yeah, I always let the first one go, even if it's Earthquake. Typically speaking, you could throw on Charge Priority there, because most times they will throw on 8s. Actually, they swap to their Alolan Ninetales. It's going to be interesting. So I'm going to swap in my Toxapex here. Main reason being most Powder Stone Alolan Ninetales do not have Psyshock. They're running Dazzling Gleam and Weather Ball, which means it's all resisted. But most importantly, if you come in with Toxapex here, it has to be Swampert coming back in all likelihood, and you get a lot of value into the Swampert because the brines are at least still neutral, whereas Bastiodon, you're throwing resistant moves all the way throughout, right? So they could get a lot of energy off of you, especially the non-Shadow Swampert. So I am going to, they throw a Hydro Cannon there, which is kind of nice because now I get another brine off, get some additional chip damage, and we take out the, okay, yeah, we take out the Swampert there. And I come in Bastion here. I'm going to shield a potential Earthquake, and it ends up being Earthquake, which is huge for me because once I get this Stone Edge off, I'm going to be in a very good spot. I still have so much energy left, and I think they know, so they're just going to let it go. And again, another 4-in-1 set. Like I said, this is only my second set playing this team, and already a lot of it's kind of clicking here too. You can see I'm climbing quite a bit consistently with it, which is nice. I think the play here, okay, I swapped straight away to Toxapex. The better play that I've realized over time is that you throw Ice Punch first, then you swap out. You gotta do a ton of damage to Altaria, and they're not going to CMB you because they don't get the Sky Attack in time, or you get a shield early on, which is really, really nice. But either way, you can see that this is more so my earlier times of playing this team, so I was not as familiar with those matchups. I do force my opponent to throw with their energy here, which is quite nice. And then, yeah, because now I can get a pretty solid farm down, but a really good pivot from my opponent here too. Because now this puts me in a really weird spot. I do have to shield potentially the Bastiodon to take out the Scoffagrease. This is a huge issue for my Medicham, but the problem is I'm probably gonna get reverse farm from this Registeel, and I'm also down shields. Down shield Medicham against Altaria is not great. I think I'm saving this Medicham because I'm trying to potentially swap out. I don't know. Let's see how I play this out. Yeah, I try swap out here. I think that's the play because I need to save the Bastion so I can reverse farm down this Altaria afterward and get the flamethrowers and take out the Registeel. I don't know. There's a lot of steps in this plan, and I don't know if it's going to work out or not. But we do get a shield here, which is nice. It's setting myself up for the reverse farm. I'll try and let my opponent knock me out here. But they know that they don't want this reverse farm, so really great call by them to just let that happen. The problem is if I just sit there and wait forever, their switch arm is going to come up and they're going to come in Registeel anyway, right? So yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't able to execute the play that I was going for, but it was a good attempt, I think. All right, so what I like to do here is if they have a negative matchup in the lead, I'm one counter ahead when they swap in. So what I do is swap in my Toxapex afterward. I'm going to let this first Psychic go. It's the second Psychic that really threatens me here. And I do throw the Brine here before they get to it. Unfortunately, not enough to KO, so I'm forced to shield Psychic. But either way, we still get some chip damage with these Brines. And then we still have alignment, which is the most important thing. Because in all likelihood, they're pretty weak to Bastion in the back, right? They had a Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, Medicham, safe swap. Best case scenario for them is maybe like a Trevenant, but most team comps, they're very weak to Bastion in the back. And it doesn't get weaker than that. It's going to be Altaria, and they're going to quit out there. Yeah, so just making that team read and making sure you win in line by chipping and then swapping Toxapex. All right. Lanturn, this is also a pretty decent lead, but a lot of times when they stay in, it gets a little concerning, and they actually bait me with a Surf there too. I thought they were going to go straight for the Thunderbolt, which is more energy efficient, but they shield too, and they actually get the debuff there, which is nice. And now I'm coming in with my Bastiodon here. Bastiodon is going to get a lot of value here. I don't really have to worry about anything here because I know that I can easily maintain switch alignment without having to throw any move, without having to spend any shields. Whereas Toxapex gets a little dicey if they start shielding Sludge Waves. Toxapex should still outbulk, but again, it gets weird. All right, and they actually have a Whiscash in the back, so ABA weak to Grass, which is kind of wild because Lanturn and Whiscash don't have too much play there. I'm going to pivot out here instead. Save the Bastion. I don't want to get farmed down too much here, and they actually go straight for Blizzard. It's a harder hitting move for sure, but we do get the Psychic off. And it gets shielded. This is a weird spot. My Toxapex, Bastion don't have a ton of places to go. Let's see how they address it. All right, I come in Toxapex here. They are still sparking away here. But yeah, you would think 2 waters against a poison, a water poison and a rock steel is game over for sure. But It doesn't look like that's the case. So again, just really goes to show how strong this team can really be, even in the worst types of matchups. All right, and then this opponent, interesting lead. Unfortunately, they left really quickly. And like I said, I'm showing all the battles from these sets, so unfortunately, that was just a fast one. Not really sure what they had in the back, but they just want no business of the Toxapex, which I get because it's one of the hardest walls to Azumarill. Actually, the hardest wall. All right, same play into the Medicham. Safe swap. We do go for this similar play. And I think after seeing how it played out last time, I'm just going to shield up and... could I have farmed down there? I think I could have. I'm not really sure why I threw that so early. I don't know. I haven't been counting. Watching this video back, maybe I was doing a better job counting at the moment. But either way, we do take out the Medicham. We're down to shields. We do CMP here. If it's Rock Tide, I'm okay because I get the move off still. And we do, which is nice. They get a little extra farm here, but the chip damage is what I'm really looking for. And then here, and they come in Charizard, and yeah, it's not going to be a great time for them. This was also Human Catcher Bug, who's known for using his Shadow Charizard, so I had a feeling it might have been in the back here, which definitely played in my favor. All right, and again, another 4-1. Like I said, this team was killing it right off the bat for me, and I was able to continue climbing with it. But yeah, overall, very, very strong team. Again, Dragonite potentially could throw the Ice Punch first and then swap, grab our early shields. Great catch from my opponent here. I forgot what did they catch it on. Oh, Lanturn, yeah, so it was a really good catch, all things considered. Water Gun Lanturn as well, which I think makes sense because you don't really beat Toxapex very consistently with the Water Gun. But I'm going to shield here just to get off a Sludge Wave here. And let's see if they double shield. They don't double shield. But I'm going to let this go. Unfortunately, we can't flip switch advantage, so maybe the shield usage was not the best because it would have been nice to have shields maybe on the Medicham. Potential superpower, but I'm thinking, all right, they have something very strong into Bastion, so I'm going to let it go. Unfortunately, it was a Lickitung. Had I just shielded the Dragonite, I easily win this match. Unfortunately, because of all that damage, the lick damage is really going to add up, and it's going to put me in a real tough spot. I don't even get to that Stone Edge. Yeah, I'm going to let this go, unfortunately. Maybe I should have thrown it? I don't know. I think I was scared of a shield KO. I think thought I was at 1 HP, like, actually. Oh, I guess the other problem is if I shield there... yeah, unfortunately, I can't get my moves off. The problem is if I shield there, they had enough for another boss game. They're just going to win charge and priority, right? Because I didn't press the Stone Edge at the moment. So, unfortunately, my own misplay there. But I think we all see the win condition had I just shield Bastion. But it's hard to say sometimes when you're in the moment. But well played from my opponent there. And now Deoxys Defense. So this is an interesting one. Something I started realizing later on is better to swap the Toxapex eventually here. Just to draw anything that might... be strong into that I might what I'm trying to say is draw potentially in ground types so my Medicham could finish them off if need be. Like I said, early battles, don't know what I was doing as much, but this person actually swaps in a Noctowl into Bastion, which is kind of interesting because I wasn't going to get that much of an energy advantage into that Deoxys Defense, but because they did decide to do that, I'm just going to get a lot of energy here. They would also be switch select no matter what happens here, so that's why I'm deciding to throw Stone Edge instead of going for the full farm down. And they actually shield, which is super curious. Yeah, I'm not really sure what was going on in this matchup. And they come in Deoxys Defense. It's Altaria in the back. So, fortunately, the team composition did help me there, but I think the better play is to still swap the Toxapex, soak up some damage, and then see if they have any ground types in the back. Because if they do, that's the time they bring it out. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense why they brought the Noctowl, because they really had no answer there. And this opponent actually catching a Psychic on their Shadow Sableye. But that damage still is kind of adding up nicely and gives my Bastion a chance to just completely farm down here, which is nice, because typically that Sableye match was a little weirder. Let's see what they come in with here, because, yeah, Toxapex. And I'm just going to no-shield it here. I think it's enough to hang on, so I'm going to throw... the Stone Edge here. Do I get the second one off? That's the real question. Probably don't. Oh, no, I do. Yeah, Bastion just absolute monster here. Triple resisting the poison jabs is very nice. Yeah, with that rock and steel typing there. All right. And I'm going to come in my own Toxapex, soak up all this damage. And then it's actually going to be a Trevenant here. It's going to be interesting. 2 shields, though, against Trevenant should be a pretty good spot. I'm at no shield, potential Shadow Ball. Ends up being C-Bomb. 2 shields up. I figured there's probably a good chance they bait. which is why I'm also baiting myself. But again, I just need to do as much damage as possible here. And then now I'm going to shield. Might be another C-Bomb. No, this time it is a Shadow Ball, so I'm making huge calls. Yeah, so I'm going to go straight for the Sludge Wave, and now I'm going to go Medicham here. All I do is shield once here, and throw the Ice Punch, and I'll be in a good spot. I'm going to overfarm a little bit here. Yeah, so we overfarm here, and then now I'm going to throw the Psychic. Actually, I'm making better plays than I remembered making. But yeah, and then now we are able to throw the Ice Punch because they were not at the move yet. I guess I expected a catch. I don't know. All right. Azumarill here. Let's see if we could potentially catch a Play Rough like we did last time, because that'd be nice. And yes, it looks like we do. Okay, so kind of risky, but I think it's definitely worth the payout, especially if you're, down early in the lead matchup. All right, and then it is going to be a Shadow Sableye, so we don't have to worry about return. Return's what really flips that matchup if you have the Purified version, but the Shadow version, they just do a lot of damage, plus I already had some chip damage from that Play Rough earlier, so not really something I can flip here. But I'm gonna come in Bastion here, get some extra energy. Again, you don't have to shield the Bastion at least, and there's not really a true counter to this Azumarill, but let's see how it plays out. And they actually come in Drapion here, so it's actually pretty good, or apparently the proper pronunciation is Drapion, but that's okay. So we're going to just chip this down as much as possible here. And then they are throwing Aqua Tails. I think I hang on here. Yeah, I was pretty confident. Unfortunately, I do have to shield this one, but again, I was trying to optimize my charge from timing a little bit here. And then now they come in Azumarill, so this is going to be interesting. My Bastion's too low at this point, but I have a ton of energy on this Medicham here, which is going to really pay off for me. And yeah, I think I just shield. Oh no, I no shield. Wow. Yeah, expecting maybe the Ice Beam there, and did pay off. All right, and we're going to counter all the way down here, which is going to be huge for me, and my opponent is going to quit out from there. Shadow Sableye lead. Not a great matchup for me. I do have to swap out right away. Against a Purified Sableye, it's not the worst situation, but this is getting from bad to worse for sure, because now they have the Registeel, and there's a hard wall, but not only that, their Sableye left with energy. So I really need to hope that Bastion's a huge core breaker, but the problem is, even if Bastion is a huge core breaker for the backline, the Sableye is not energy dry. So I'm coming in, so my Bastion has a 1v2 Shadow Sableye with a bunch of energy and a third Pokemon. So yeah, it's a gargantuan feat for sure. Let's see how this goes. I don't remember the specific matchup, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is one I lose. All right, here comes Shadow Sableye, and as you can see, they're probably at like almost 100 energy at this point, because they left with like maybe 7 or so with Shadow Claws, and they just got a couple more. All right, and they're going to keep spamming away here, and we're just going to throw the Stone Edges here, do what we can, and it's going to be a Azumarill, which is just not great if you look at the health of my backline Pokemon here. And I have no idea if it has even Hydro Pump or not, but I just need to hope it doesn't, so I could do enough chip damage with the Bastion on. But it's going to be still a really rough time. Yeah, so they throw the Play Rough here, which makes sense. But again, like, how do I take out the Sableye? That's a real question, right? And we go for a combo play here. I don't think the Ice Punch is even enough, unfortunately. We do get a shield, though. But the problem is, if I shield here, I know the Sableye has energy, so, and they know too, and they're going to go for the combo play. So unfortunately, that one was kind of a tough one. Bastion definitely had some play there, but it just did not have enough juice in the tank left to take out both. We do go 3-2 here, so 3-4-1 sets and 1-3-2 to continue climbing. And like I said, this was my first time running the team, and it worked out really well. All right, let's see if Chags has forgiven me or not. I'll hold her for only a little bit for this outro. I know a lot of people like to run Razor Leafers or Charmers with Bastion on, but I always like to think that there are different ways to play it, and it's pretty effective even against some of the best players in the world. So best of luck if you decided to run this team yourself. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and we'll catch you all next time. Bye.